Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest morning show on the planet going today. It is your boy Pride, and we're bringing you another episode of ASAP in the morning. Obviously, I have my esteemed panel with me. I have Jay, who's fucking ecstatic that Dallas won. I promise I'm going to give you your floor. I promise.
Yo, Jay, you got the floor, brother.
You got it. I promise I'm gonna give you the floor. We got Greg, who I don't know. 1 minute he's a Chiefs fan, all of a sudden he's not. So I'm gonna have to. We gonna see about you.
I'm Chiefs all day.
Greg, like, yo, stop playing with me. Greg, like, hey, yo, stop playing with me. Obviously, we got Coach Dante. You know, the fan of the Portland Trailblazers, who his life goal is to be a part of that great organization. We have Trey. We have Trey, who yesterday showed us the fire. I'm not going to start talking straight just to get that burn.
Fire Trey in the building. Fire Trey in the building.
Yes, sir. Hold on, mama. And then we got Michael here as well. By the way, Gritty, and I promise we're going to talk about this. I promise you.
Hey, Rock, tell that Thunder fan to come in the chat again. He been hiding from me.
Nah, he gonna be back. Nah, he gonna be back. I
already know. I'm waiting on him. Oklahoma City forgot to play basketball, I guess.
you really are waiting for him. But like I said, Dallas won last night. They handled their business. They beat the Saints. Jay, before I get into the question, and Trey, I promised you would get him an opportunity as well. So I'm gonna be a man of my word. Jay, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Got the flow, Jay.
Hey, Micah Parsons. Oh, hey, listen, if he don't get defensive player, listen, he is mounted his case. They said the other night, the only way he gonna get it is if he gets double-digit sacks, and if he gets like 115 tackles. Well, you know what? He got the double-digit sacks. He'll get 3 more before the end of the year. Let's be honest, there's plenty of games left. He's gonna tack on about 2 or 3 more. I guarantee you, he gonna get to that 115 tackles. And if somebody don't give him defensive player of the year, then we got problems. I don't care if it's his first year or not. The man is making the case. And Dallas is back on our point. All right. Gallup got that nice little back of the end zone grab. Y'all said that. Look, Dak Prescott looked nice. He had no interceptions. Listen, we are back, man. I'm telling you, listen, it is the Saints. I get it. There was no Alvin Kamara. It was Taysom Hill. You know, they were a little bit, you know, they weren't a full Saints. I get all that. But I'm telling you, man, you take it one game at a time, and our momentum is now starting. And it's going to continue to carry on. We play Washington. We play Washington twice. We play Philly twice. And then we got the Giants in there once.
I was about to say, every game from here on out, it's straight division.
Yes. So there's no reason. I'm telling you, man. And that's okay. I understand. Look, we got a weak division. That's all I'm going to say. We got a weak division. And everyone knows that. But still, man, look, we got the D-Law back. I'm waiting for Gregory to come back. But we got our fruit of compliment, Mike McCarthy. I understand. I kind of like Dan Quinn. Me personally, just leave Dan Quinn in there personally. But Mike McCarthy going to come back and he on whatever. But at the end of the day, man, I'm telling you, this game is all about momentum. And if you can get the right amount of momentum going into the playoffs, hey, look, we almost beat Tampa. And that was supposed to be the best thing. I really believe that Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to go that far because New England out there. I think New England looking really damn good. But I tell you, I think that we are going to go at least. I'm going to say this: we're going to get past the first round of the playoffs. I think we get into the second round of the playoffs. And I think we'll see what happens. But damn it, I'm glad, man. It was a great way to start off my week. And I can't wait for Monday Night Football when the Bills play the Patriots, and then we get to see how that's gonna be a beautiful thing, man.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm hoping New England makes the playoffs, and I hope the Buccaneers make the playoffs because I feel like Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick on a Super Bowl day, I feel like that'd be wild. But like I said before I go, Trey, go ahead. You told us so. Whoop-de-doo. Have your moment.
There's no reason to boast or brag. They are who they thought they were. I don't have much to say. It's just what it was. Taysom Hill was just coming back from his concussion and his foot injury. Everyone was going off the 3-1 Taysom Hill from last year. It just wasn't in their cards. And like you said, Dallas defense was coming back with Lawrence, and of course Parsons had been doing his thing. Diggs was back there doing his thing. It was expected. So it's not much. It is what it is. Go 49ers. It's quest for 6.
Oh my goodness. I will say this. I did have higher expectations of Taysom Hill. Granted, I don't think he's, like a franchise quarterback, but I thought he's a quarterback that, he's a decent, well, at least in my eyes, I thought he was a decent backup who can hold the fort down for a couple games here and there, He made some nice throws. I will give him that. However, he made some horrible
like 3 or 4 picks.
reads. There were a couple picks. The first pick, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was a pick. After he threw, I think the third one, I was like, yeah, it don't even matter if that first one was a pick at this point, because at this point, the way Taysom Hill's throwing the ball, it literally doesn't even matter. So, but Jay, let me start with you, Greg. What do you think is more impressive this season? Micah Parsons with, I believe he has 10 sacks. I think he already has double-digit sacks. With his 10 sacks, or Trayvon Diggs with the 9 interceptions?
I'm gonna go with Trayvon Diggs and his 9 picks. Most of the time, it's not thrown right at him. Diggs he's going out there and getting those picks. He's by far one of the best corners that we have in the league. He's a ball hawker. He's a shutdown corner for the most part. So I would go with Trayvon Diggs and his 9 pick. Now it's not easy to get sacks now. I'm not trying to sneeze on Micah Parsons, 10 sacks, but I think it is harder to get those 9 picks, especially when they're not always thrown right to you. So I'll go with Trayvon Diggs and his 9 picks.
But it's not even that. It's look at how much of the defense plays that Micah Parsons is involved in. You get him at the middle of the line, you get him at the end of the line. In some way or fashion, every single offensive play that the offense calls, Micah Parsons is involved in some kind of way. I mean, he's always around the ball. He knows. He has great instincts. And I mean, he will be like a Lawrence Taylor type of guy. I mean, the guy just knows where to be. And that's why he's in the. That's why you constantly see him in the backfield making the tackles. You constantly see him out of the wing. I mean, the guy's just everywhere. I mean, he is phenomenal. I mean, not take away his 9 interceptions from Trayvon Diggs. That's impressive. But Diggs is nowhere near as involved in the defensive snaps as much as Parsons is. It's just ridiculous.
Coach, let me ask you a question. Micah Parsons, if I'm not mistaken, he leads. He broke the franchise record for sacks as a rookie. Do you think that should kind of be favored when people are comparing? Because if we're gonna be honest, a lot of people are comparing Micah Parsons' impact to Trayvon Diggs' impact. With Micah Parsons breaking that record, do you think that should, kind of have a little bit of validity to it?
I mean, like I say, man, it's not easy to go get 10 sacks every time, especially when you're getting game plan for, when you're getting double team off the line and you're still getting to the quarterback. That means you're just an elite player. You're just dominant. You're opening up lanes for other guys, but you also got DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. But Michael Parsons, man, he almost wrecked that Raiders game by himself. If it just wasn't for that penalty by Anthony Brown, Michael Parsons single-handedly on that defense would have won the game for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not easy to get 10 sacks, man. Getting 10 sacks is impressive. I mean, it's not easy to get back out to the quarterback every single play and be in his space every single play. And the man is fast. No matter what side, you can run the ball on the opposite side. He's still around the football. He still finds his way. And, man, this man is a stud. This man is elite. I'm not going to lie. Everybody in the world, and my family knows I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm not afraid to get up here in a minute and, say, hey, they did a great job last night. Taysom Hill looked terrible. He was just god awful last night. No doubt about it. The Saints defense did what all they could. The play that pretty much broke the game was Tony Pollard. You had about 4 or 5 Saints in the backfield, and Pollard also just cut it up the field and just turned up his speed, and all of a sudden that was it. That was the game turning point pretty much of the game. That game broke the Cowboys' back right there pretty much. But Michael Parsons, man, this dude's elite. He's a legit stud, man, in this league. And it's not easy to go get 10 sacks every single play, coming off the ball, getting double teamed, getting pancake blocked, getting blindside while you're on the line, and you still getting to the quarterback in the quarterback face every single play. That is impressive. That is impressive right there. Michael Parsons is elite. He's the stud, man. And he should win Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. The man is great. A great player. I got to give it to him.
Michael, do you agree? Like, which is more impressive, Micah Parsons or Trayvon Diggs?
You know something? It's a tough question, but first of all, I want to thank you all for inviting me on the show. You guys are great. To me, Parsons, hands down, because he's 2 players in one. He was drafted as a linebacker. He playing defensive end, and to do what he's done, to me, is fantastic. I think the guy is a stud, like we all said before. And to me, he's 2 players in one. When he gets a little older, gets a little more experience, he's going to be more important on the defensive end as far as a linebacker. Watch. And you remember, he's small in stature. And you know what I'm saying? So I think the guy's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I genuinely believe that it's Michael Parsons, and you almost have to give it to him because, again, granted he doesn't have interceptions, but there are times where he drops in coverage, and he's no slouch in coverage. Like you could put him on someone, and like you said, Michael, because he's smaller, you're more comfortable putting him out there with a running back in coverage. And a lot of times when it's the running back against a linebacker, it's almost looked like as a mismatch. But because he's quick and he's still strong, even though he's not the prototypical size of a normal linebacker. So I'm definitely gonna have to say Micah Parsons again. Nothing to Trayvon Diggs, but at the same time, there are times where Trayvon Diggs, his interceptions are impressive. For me, Micah Parsons is the consistency. That's what it is for me. For me, Trayvon Diggs, he does get burnt and he gambles a lot, Now, he's got the 9 picks, so, hey, it's working for him, you know what I mean? So, I'm not trying to say that he's a scrub or anything like that. But when it comes to Micah Parsons, even if he's not tackling you, he's getting the hits. There have been games that he has gotten, for instance, week 2, he didn't get. If I'm mistaken, he didn't get a sack. I lied. He got 1 sack. Hit the quarterback 4 times. That's something that, and again, that's just Michael Parsons' role. That's not considering anyone else. So the fact when you start looking at it like that, I'm gonna have to go Michael Parsons. Listen. Y'all talking about he's the next LT. I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think the kid is gonna be like that now. I don't he's great, but call him the next LT. I mean, we got to relax a little bit because we've seen LT literally lift grown men up and throw them away like they're children. He does to grown men. LT was a grown man, and he was picking other grown men up, moving them, putting them down, tell them to stay, and they would stay, and then he would go after the quarterback. So no disrespect to Micah Parsons, but to say that he's the next LT, I think it's a little bit too early to say that, only because a lot of the things that LT did was just freak of nature. Like, it's all, I don't know if you guys, I don't want to.
Yeah, but this is year one.
You guys
there's a lot going on, but this is just year one. But he's showing, what I'm saying is he's showing LT-like tendencies. I'm not saying he's LT yet. That's like, just like saying Mac Jones ain't Tom Brady yet.
Oh, he's not even close.
But hold up, but I'm saying this though, but they're showing tendencies that they could be. You're not saying. So what you're saying, year one, they're doing things that could translate that way.
Now, family, hold up, family. Let me tell you something real quick. Lawrence Taylor was drafted as a defensive end, became a linebacker. Similar, you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, that still doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be like the next.
Oh, I'm not saying he's going to be like. No, I'm not saying that.
I mean, Terrell Pryor was drafted as a quarterback, went to wide receiver. Is he all of a sudden going to be the next Julian Edelman? I mean, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Again, not to say that Micah Parsons. Let me just clear up what I'm saying. I'm not saying Micah Parsons is a scrub. I just want to throw that out there. You know what I mean? This kid he's on a great path. I don't know. The next LT, I don't know. Until Micah Parsons literally picks up a lineman and literally
do you have to literally pick up a lineman to be considered the great? I mean, honestly, there's so many
to be compared to LT who did that consistently.
To being a great player, being like a superstar, to being a Lawrence Taylor type of guy. You don't have to just pick somebody else. All you got to do is disrupt the damn defense. All you got to do is change the game from a defensive perspective. I don't got to pick you up. I just got to disrupt you. I just have to take everything that you're doing.
Jay, do me a favor. Do me a favor real quick. Do me a favor. Look in the camera and tell me that Micah Parsons changes the game like LT. Do that right now.
I'm not saying it yet. I'm saying he's showing potential. There's potential there.
There's no potential to change the game. There's no potential to change the game.
At year one, he's looking pretty damn impressive at changing people's game plans.
Okay, so Trayvon Diggs, he's doing great. He's doing great for year one, 9 picks. Is he all of a sudden is he breaking the mold? They're going to be better than Deion Sanders? Like,
hell no.
All I'm saying is I understand what you're saying in terms of the stuff that he's doing. I get your point. But just because you have, quote, tendencies doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end up being like this individual.
No, of course not. But when Tom Brady first came into the league at year one, you didn't think he was going to go on to be this, but you saw flashes of what you think could be.
I didn't necessarily say he was on the path to greatness. First of all, Tom Brady didn't start for about a year and a half. But when he first took a snap, matter of fact, let's not even say that. His first 50 some odd games. No one really saying that he's on the road to greatness. Now,
he did like a 10-5 party.
And nobody really was saying anything about how Tom Brady was all of a sudden, going to be that guy.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, year one is too early to tell, but what I'm saying, I see something in Parsons. I think that could lead down that direction.
And we'll see. We'll see. I mean, obviously, he's on a good path right now. He's doing stuff. Let's see what happens. I'm very curious to see how him and both Diggs react when defenses start legitimately game planning for them. Because when that happens, that's when you take the step from good to great. That right there is kind of like the gap in the level. So, you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I think between the both of them, I think it's more likely that Micah Parsons handles that transition a little better than Diggs. Some people disagree. They think Diggs will handle it more. But just the mere fact that you can kind of line up Parsons as a defensive end one play, then a linebacker, and the fact that in coverage, does he have any interceptions? No, but he does have his fair share of breaking plays up, and in coverage, especially against running backs, he ain't no slouch. Antonio Brown fucking up yet again. Why the world will never know. So he was one of the 3 players suspended, along with Buccaneers backup safety Mike Edwards, who, and free agent wide receiver John Franklin III. So obviously, when they went and did the report, they just had AB, which made sense. Now, Antonio Brown this is the exact. I'm bringing up the exact quote. Quote: the leagues and players union found that Brown was among 3 players who misrepresented their vaccination status. A former personal chef of Brown said earlier this month that the wide receiver had obtained a fake COVID-19 vaccination card over the summer.
Mhm.
Now, this is where I go to say this man is stupid. This is where I go to say it. This is where I go. You're vaccinated. You're vaccinated now. So I just have the $1 million question. Why would you go and get this fake card, only to get vaccinated, then tell your chef, because supposedly, according to what happened, this man talked to his chef talking about, hey, yo, bro, who got them cards in the low? So you really gonna do that and think your personal chef got that much loyalty to you? Greg, let me start with you. AB, to steal a phrase from Charlemagne the God, he's got to be the donkey of the day, right?
Oh yeah, he's donkey of the day. He's donkey of the day. I'm not understanding why. Okay, so what was the need for the vague vaccine? It wasn't like Florida had a mandate, like, hey, you have to get this vaccine. So he didn't need the state. It wasn't a state mandate. It wasn't a league mandate. So I'm wondering what was the need for that anyway. And then not only that, why go pay for that when you can just get the vaccine free? I never understood that. Like, I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but I'm just saying, why do get the card and pay for that and the vaccination is free? That doesn't make no sense to me. I'm sorry.
The only that would make sense is if he didn't want the poison in his body, but he wanted to have some kind of proof to say that he did. But it's still a stupid thing to do. I mean,
it's still dumb.
I mean, this is my thing. But this is where I call it stupid. This isn't the NBA. Since you're outdoor, you don't need to get the vaccination. There's just only certain protocols you need to do. So that's why, to me, it's confusing. Like I said, personally, I'll be honest. I believe when it comes to vaccines, I personally, if you're asking my opinion, I think we should take them. But again, that's a liberty that other people have, that you make the choice, whatever you do. But to go and get a fake vax card, I mean, especially in a situation where you don't have to take it. It's not mandatory. It's just weird. Jay, let me ask you a question. Antonio Brown is not appealing this. He's letting it rock. Do you take that as an admission of guilt?
Oh, hell yeah, you take it as an admission of guilt. Let's see, it does an admission of this dude, man, he knows it bad. He knows bad, but you got the damn. Everybody knows you have a great card. Of course, it's a guilt. What are you gonna do? Well, that wasn't my card. It was somebody else's card. No. Yeah, of course. Look, outside this for Antonio Brown, he took his punishment like a man. He said, you know what? I'm an idiot. Go on ahead, give me a little 3-day suspension. I'm going to, of course it's a mission to kill. Hey, what's up with Aaron Rodgers, man? Why do we do all this shit to Aaron Rodgers when he's
matter of fact, this is what I was gonna ask Trey next. Because see, Trey here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time you guys have ever watched the show. See, Trey is what we call our resident intelligent man, right? He is the man who believes in pure facts. This is the man that has stats over sayings. So, Trey, what is the difference between Antonio Brown and Aaron Rodgers?
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Talk to him.
It's just that. I mean, come on. Who AB isn't who Aaron Rodgers is. Maybe at one point that's who it was. So when you look at it, I was definitely like Jay asked the right question, because that was more so what I was looking at. Like AB did what he did. This AB, but like Aaron Rodgers just a couple of weeks ago did the same thing, except for he didn't get obtain a vax card, or it wasn't said that he obtained a vax card, but he did lie about his vaccination, and he only got slapped on the wrist with a fine, while AB sitting out 3 games, which entails him not getting paid. So when it comes down to it, what's going to be more detrimental to the league? Aaron Rodgers missing 3 games or Antonio Brown missing 3 games? So it's just one of those things where it's not being talked about. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't read anything about it or watched any television which it talked about the disparity between the two when they did basically somewhat the similar thing. But I mean, I'm very sure it remains to be seen. But that's, to me, that's what it would be. No facts driven. No, that's just my opinion. That we're talking Aaron Rodgers versus Antonio Brown. Aaron Rodgers has more value to the league.
That's an interesting way to look at it, especially Aaron Rodgers being the chosen one. Coach, let me ask you something. Antonio Brown was already out with a sprained ankle. So is it just possible that he's just shrugging his shoulders and saying he don't care only because he was going to be out anyway because he's injured? And he's been injured for a while now.
You could say that Antonio Brown is kind of, to me, the problems he went through with Pittsburgh, the problems he went through with Oakland, he's just a nuthead at this point, man. At this point, bro, he just a goddamn knucklehead. When you think Antonio Brown probably going on the right track for us, his behavior, something always pop up where if he's getting into a fight or something like that. It's just the guy's a damn knucklehead, and I really don't think it's hurting Tampa Bay not one bit because you still got Scotty Miller out there that can play football. You still got a plethora of receivers out there. So again, at this point, he just a nuthead. He just a knucklehead at this point, man. He just doesn't know how to act at this point. You could have took the vaccine for free, and you wanted to tell someone that's loyal to you, and I would have just probably kept it to my goddamn self. But hey, it is what it is. Antonio Brown is just a goddamn knucklehead, and he just don't know how to act, man. So I just take it in that consideration. When you get in trouble that many times and you haven't learned your lesson, yeah, you completely don't fucking care about what the hell you do.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. A lot of people really, how they feel, and they're picking up that at this point, AB doesn't care. Michael, let me ask you, do you think that this entire issue is going to end up putting his future with the Buccaneers in jeopardy?
Absolutely. You know, the thing about Antonio Brown, with so much talent and all the things he has done in the past, you know, history repeats itself. I think it's going to be a major problem. Check it out. Even when he went to New England and Tom Brady took him under his wing and brought him into his house, straightened him out a minute, and then he went to Tampa Bay. Again, Tom Brady looked out for him. The man has issues, and it's a shame because he has so much talent, and he has lost so much money. Now, what y'all didn't bring up is the 3 games. You had mentioned something about, if he's just going to look at, he losing money. And as my man said, money is the key. So he's losing money, he's losing respect, and to do what he's done, beating up, aggressing with his chef, beating up UPS people, and all the things he's done, Oakland, we can go on and on and on. The guy is just a mess. And with all that talent, he ain't got too many more years left. So to answer your question, oh yeah, it's going to make an impact. But you guys know as well as I know, if you can play, if you're that good, they'll make amends.
Yeah, and we'll see how this whole AB situation pans out. Again, hopefully he just sits down with Bruce Arians, because I know Bruce Arians, his face is red, veins are popping out of his neck. He's triggered. I can tell you that right now. I've seen this dude literally almost punch somebody simply because of a blown coverage. Imagine doing something to get you suspended. I'm pretty sure AB heard an earful from him. But moving on to the NBA, quick rundown on some of the scores that happened yesterday. And there's going to be 2 games in specific I want to break down with y'all. But before that, Raptors beat the Bucks 97-93. Bulls outlast the Knicks 119-115. Grizzlies dog stomped, dog walked, dog shat, dog, whatever you want to call it, the Thunder. And this is real life, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a fake score. 152-79. goddamn, that
73 points, fellas. That is 73 points. They
the
got
largest margin in
Oh.
NBA history that the Miami Heat had. I think when they lost to Cleveland, I think it was. But that was horrible. That ass whooping is worse than what my stepfather used to do to me. The Suns beat the Pistons to win 18 straight, 114-103, and the Spurs beat Dante's team, the Portland Trailblazers, 114-84. Now, the first game we got to talk about. Goddamn, this blowout was wild. 152-76.
Without their best player.
I'm gonna put it to y'all this way: the lowest scoring quarter for the Memphis Grizzlies was 31 points, and that is still better than any quarter the Memphis Grizzlies has.
Without their best player. Without Morant.
Straight up,
Yeah.
you Google dominance, and you're gonna see a. By the way, Ja Morant-less.
Yes.
They did not
Uh-huh.
have Ja Morant. I just want to put that out there for some context. Jaren Jackson Jr. 27 points, Dylan Brooks 11, Tyrus Jones had 10, Aldama had 18, John Conchar had 17. You had a lot of dudes in double figures. So, Greg, let me start with you. 152-79. What the fuck is going on?
Oh, this is the same OKC team that beat the Lakers twice. But anyway,
Here we go.
Come on, yo, Trey. I saw Trey's face. I'm
Word.
who gonna say it? Who gonna say it?
just saying, just pointing that out. But look, Memphis to do this, and then Ja Morant didn't even play. Like, I'm looking at the stats right now. So Memphis, they shot 62% from the field. They were like 53% from 3-point. Like these numbers are insane. Like they had the night of their lives last night. And OKC, we knew that OKC was bad. We didn't know they were this bad.
I mean,
Like, this is bad.
oh,
When this score came on my phone last night, I said, "Hold on, this ain't right." I had to double and triple check, but I mean, OKC, they are definitely they are worse than what we thought.
yeah,
This is
they're
horrible.
definitely awful. And Jay, let me ask you a question. In terms of total rebounds, when I say they, I mean the Thunder almost got doubled, 26-53. And the offensive, when it comes to offensive rebounds, Thunder had 8. The Grizzlies had 14. So do you think that the loss was more like a talent disparity, or do you think it was just lack of hustle?
I think it was just lack of heart all the way around. I mean, come on, listen. You got the Houston Rockets, which is a total freaking rebuild mode. And I don't think we would have lost it by that bad.
No.
Tell him, Jay.
I'll be
we
honest
never
with you, Jay.
had
I was going to
this
say that. I don't even think Houston would have. I'm pretty enough. Houston ain't going to get blown out like this. No way.
This was just, and the sad part about it is this is the same Thunder team that I wish Freddie was here. This is the same Thunder team that beat the Lakers. So what does that say for the Lakers, man? Damn.
Hold on. I just want to let you know, Jay. Trey's a Laker fan, so you can say whatever you want to Trey and pretend.
Hey, listen, man, this is the same Thunder team that beat the Lakers, man. Listen, this Thunder team was ridiculous, man. I mean, at some point, baseball has unwritten rules.
Yes.
Football kind of even has unwritten rules with the kneel downs, so you don't have to keep running up the score. At what point do you just say mercy?
No.
At what point do you just say, okay, listen, because like I think like in junior high, high school baseball, whatever, you score like 10 runs and they don't have nothing. The game's just over. You don't have to go to the 4-9 innings. It just stops right there. At what point do you get right to the half and just be like, hey, guys, listen, I'm sorry. If you're Oklahoma City Thunder, we're going to give you a refund on your money because this is ridiculous.
Someone said, I don't even think the Pistons will lose that bad. Look, I'm going to put it to you this way. I wish they scored 160.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point?
Maybe that's just me being mean, But I'm just saying, the whole thing about let them win. No, I'm just because the thing is, when you start letting the gas pedal up and you start being nice and trying to run the clock, guess what? You give the other opportunity. You'll give the team other opportunities. That's how you get New England versus the Patriots. I'm sorry, New England versus the Falcons. That's how you get the Cavs coming back 3-1 on Golden State. Like that's how all these things happen. So my thing is, go out, score 130. Trey, you're a Lakers fan, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to vicariously try to defend your team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't play, and you can make an argument that not only is he the
him nor Giddey played.
But this kid is a bona fide star. I don't care what anyone says. This kid is a star and is a hell of a leader. So Trey, how bad do you think the absence of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was on this game?
I think it was immense for the simple fact, like you said, Giddey, Alexander, Shai nor Giddey was present in this game, which you can tell that it was basically a huge disparity. You had Lou Dort basically led this team, and of course we all know like you preferably need your top stars. Now I'm not going to make any excuses for the OKC, nor would I make any excuses for the Lakers as they keep on coming up for some reason and they didn't play in this game, but. At the end of the day, what happens is these are professionals. This is what they get paid to do. So sometimes you're gonna have someone has to win, someone has to lose. So there's no excuse for it. You next man up, and just unfortunately the next man up for the OKC can only produce 15 points and wasn't able to lead his team. The next man up for the Grizzlies, which was the whole squad damn near 12-man rotation. The 9 of 12 was double figures. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They definitely went by committee and did what they had to do. So, you know what I'm saying? Hats off to the Grizzlies being able to step up as a team effort and lay that 73-point throttling on the Thunder. So, it is what it is.
Damn, that's just some soul. I could tell he low-key was rooting for him, like, come on, Thunder. Oh. Damien had a question. Has there ever been a team that had made 200 points? No, there wasn't. The highest scoring game ever was the Detroit Pistons versus the Denver Nuggets in 1983.
That's correct.
Pistons scored 186 points. That is the most a team has ever scored. However, it took them triple overtime. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't think a team will ever hit 200 points unless all of a sudden your 1 through 5 lineup is just like nothing but Steph Curry's that just want to shoot nothing but threes, and you give them a few overtimes. Coach, did I ask you a question yet? Yes, sir. I knew. I ain't gonna forget you now. So obviously, let's talk about the winning team, those Grizzlies. Like Trey said, almost everyone scored in double digits. There's only 3 players who did not score in double digits. That was Steven Adams, who gave you 9 points, Desmond Bane, who gave you 2 points, and Killian Tyler, who gave you 6 points, which is wild because Tyler played 15 minutes. Bane played 18, so I feel like they should have given them a little more. But how impressive is this in terms of them going out and stomping a team without their best player and everyone having a pretty good game? Are you comfortable in saying that this is, forget a play-in team, a playoff team?
Yeah, I've been saying they were a playoff team. But first, I want to get into OKC. Because, you know what, Jay? This dude, he have an Oklahoma City profile. I forgot his name.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking. It's someone else. Yep. I thought it was the Raiders dude. Nope, it's somebody else. Yep.
Last week, he said the Rockets are a disgrace.
Yes.
So ever since he said that, what streak is the Rockets on? The Rockets on. We on the 4, right, Jay? We on the 4 game winning streak, right? And 2 of those wins came against OKC, right?
Yes.
And did we forget how to play basketball? Did we forget?
No.
So
our games are actually competitive. We just lose, but we can play competitively.
And we beat Charlotte. We beat Chicago. That's 2 playoff teams we beat, right?
Yeah.
But again, anytime you beat a team by 73 points, that's pretty much impressive. But when you get beat by 73 points, knowing me as a coach myself, that is no heart, no lack of effort, no fight. You just laid it down. You just went out there and laid it down. You just laid out there and just laid it down without your 2 stars. But other than that, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the way this night went, he wouldn't have made an impact on this team either. They wouldn't have stopped this throttling the way this game went. This game got out of hand quick. Memphis is a pretty good playoff team. Like I said, Jaren Jackson Jr. can definitely stay healthy. He can be that secondary scorer next to John Morant. I think he had 27 points last night. Dylan Brooks is a 3-and-D player. He is a 3-and-D player. Desmond Bane, who can shoot the basketball pretty good. Again, you got a nice little balance of defensive people and you can shoot. You got a great coach in Taylor Jenkins, a great young coach. Brandon Clark is a pretty good power forward. He's got great athleticism. You got Xavier Tillman, who can come off the bench and knock you down a shot. D'Anthony Melton, 19 points, 3-and-D player. I know him. He started with the Rockets. He was traded, but it's no excuse for a professional basketball team to go out there and just lay a dud like Oklahoma City did. And I'm gonna tell this guy, if you're in the chat, report to Coach Dante. Matter of fact, keep your mouth closed. Keep your mouth closed. Stop talking, and you take that 73-point ass whooping that you just took, and the 3 ass whoopings the Rockets put on you this year. So if you're gonna talk wisely. Talk wisely, please. If you're gonna talk,
stop encouraging him.
Hey, no, I'm just saying because I don't do talking. I know we know our team not expect to do nothing, but you went out there and got beat by 73. Guess what? And you know what, Pride? After we softened them up and we beat them, you remember how I softened up Bishop the other against Oklahoma? Oklahoma, you remember how I softened? Oklahoma City got softened up by us, and that set up that ass whooping the other night. So take that 73-point L, and I want to see you in Coach Dante front office, and I want an apology. For saying the Rockets are a disgrace and for that 72-point butt whooping that y'all took. And I wouldn't have came out the locker room if I was OKC. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I wouldn't have came out the locker room. But yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if it was me, I'm retiring. I would be so embarrassed. And Coach, I low-key think that Memphis was like, nah, bro, leave my guys up there. Leave them alone. You know what I mean? Leave the Rockets alone, bro. Leave them alone, bro. We gonna handle business. Michael, let me ask you something. There's a lot of people saying that the Grizzlies shouldn't care about this win because it's OKC and OKC isn't good, blah, 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 all that stuff, trying to discredit their win. What would you say to those people that are trying to discredit this dominant win from the Memphis Grizzlies?
Okay, first of all, I want to let you all know I witnessed that game with the Detroit Pistons winning that miraculous game. Well, matter of fact, the Knicks. I watched that game. That was my idol, Isaiah Thomas, by the way. But anyway, getting back to Memphis, it was a good win. I don't take too much heat to it. I mean, it was a regular season game. I really don't take too much heat in it. I mean, it was a good win. Oklahoma City, embarrassment. I can't believe they could succumb to 73 points. That's unheard of. But I mean, Memphis, they'll take it and they'll move on. But they're in a tough conference, and they got to get their guy back, who was tremendous, by the way. And we'll see what happens. But right now, I don't take it as it was a good win, but I don't. NBA season is a long season. And guys, what you may or may not know, I am an NBA historian, so I know teams that start off pretty good, they don't end up that good. So, it's a good win. I give them credit, but I don't heap too much credence to it.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It's just the regular season, but I will say this. Anytime you can go out and break history, that's something that's, like, immensely impressive. The second game I want to talk to you about, obviously, Detroit Pistons are dog shit. By the way, really another question. I think everyone forgot Isaiah Stewart plays basketball anymore. Just crazy. He had that one thing that, Braun almost put paws on him, and the kid was scared out of his life, Then all of a sudden he doubled back on everything. Oh, I didn't mean it, I'm just here to play ball. They lost to the Phoenix Suns, which the Phoenix Suns end up going to 18 straight 18 straight. That's fucking impressive as shit, especially after starting 1-3. Start 1-3, all of a sudden these dudes don't know how to lose. I'm telling you right now, the instant they lose, Devin Booker is punching someone. He's punching someone in their face, bro. He gonna get tight. Chris Paul gonna start screaming. It's gonna be crazy. LeBron is still a punk. Yeah, LeBron will beat the. Let me not. Anyway, Greg, Phoenix Suns 18 straight. Is this a sign of things to come in terms of the playoffs?
I think so. I think they're gonna be in the Western Conference Finals with Golden State when it's all said and done. The Suns are hungry. Like I said, they got to the final last year, came up short. CP3, those guys, Booker, they're hungry. They want to make up for losing that final. The Suns are one of the best teams in the Western Conference. It'll be between them and Golden State in the West. I would slightly favor Golden State in that matchup if it ends up, being ends up being those two teams. But yeah, Phoenix is balling. They balling out.
Yeah, they definitely are balling out. They're trying to prove a point.
Exactly.
Coach, obviously, Devin Booker did not play. Obviously, in terms of points, it was led by DeAndre Ayton. Do you think that these guys can have, let's say, over the next 2 weeks, do you think that they'll be able to still continue this success without Devin Booker?
Of course. Long as you have the best leader by far in the NBA, probably one of the best leaders in NBA history, Chris Paul. As long as you have him on this team, you got a chance. A coach on the floor can motivate guys. Being 6 foot and can play defense and competitive the way he is, and then you got Jay Crowder. He doesn't shoot great every night, but he's one of the top 3-and-D guards in the game. This guy, when you play against Jay Crowder, he always seems to frustrate someone on the defensive side of the ball. When you're down, he can kind of light a spark in his team by frustrating a person, or rather if it's getting a technical. Jay Crowder can do that. Mikal Bridges, he's come from a winning college program in Villanova. So 3-and-D player, can shoot. Another guy that can play defense. Landry Shamet off the bench, who played for Brooklyn last year, sharpshooter, is pretty good. And then you got the underrated Cameron Johnson, 27 minutes, 19 points off the bench. That guy's a sharpshooter. And JaVale McGee. A lot of people are sleeping on how great JaVale McGee, how great of a rim protector he is, how great of a paint defender he is, and those long arms and athleticism. He's very good as well. So, and you got Cameron Payne coming off the bench, dropping 19 points. So that means you got depth all the way around. So you can make up. You can't make. Nobody is good. Nobody can make up for Devin Booker, but you got depth though. You have depth in your lineup, and you have depth off that bench that can come off the bench and contribute. But Chris Paul, as long as you have the best leader in the NBA, you got a chance to go out there and still win a game every night. If you need a big bucket, he can get it to you. If you need a big defensive stop, he definitely can help you. And then you got a great coach in Monty Williams as well. So again, yes, I believe they can still overcome the storm. I think they can continue this path. You got Golden State, I think tonight. I think they got Golden State again. So again, hey, I think they can do it. They can still do it again. Devin Booker don't have to rush. They're on an 18-game winning streak. And I say, Chris Paul, you have the best leader in the NBA and probably in NBA history, a coach on the floor. And then he's part of the Executive Players Association as well. So again, as long as you got him to keep everything right, you're pretty good. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, they do have Golden State tonight. After that, they have 2 days off, and then Monday they play the Spurs. Jay, let me give this question to you, Jay. So I want to touch on something Greg said. He said that he believes that the West is going to end up coming down to two teams, the Suns and Golden State. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. How does it not, man? Like I said, I'm gonna go back to what Coach said, man. You got, when you look at Phoenix, you got two coaches. You got coach on the floor, you got coach on the bench, and they are both in sync with each other. And not only in sync with each other, but I mean, you got a whole team that is selfless. They all want to play for the championship, and they all know their role. They all know what they need to do, and they all listen to Chris Paul. They all listen to Monty, and Chris Paul basically does what Monty Williams needs him to do. I mean, and then you got Golden State on the other side, led by Steve Kerr, who, obviously Steph Curry and all the great things that they have. How does it not come down to both of those two guys, those two teams? And I think it's going to be, I tell you what, that's going to be probably I think that actually might be, the Western Conference Finals will probably be way better than the actual finals themselves.
100%. If it's the Suns and Warriors, I'm with you. I genuinely believe it will be better. Trey, so Chris Paul played 33 minutes, and he got a double-double, 12 points, 12 assists. Do you think that at some point they should start considering cutting down his minutes to keep the success of this team going?
No, not at all. You gotta let a player like Chris Paul be who exactly he is. Cutting down his minutes isn't going to be effective unless he deems it's going to be effective. So I think they can continue to let it ride as it may, because he's a leader and he needs to be on the court too. And as Chris Paul, I don't foresee as one of those that's going to that needs the spotlight in order to be effective. In due time, he's going to relinquish all that to Devin Booker, in which the young Bulls of the Suns will be able to run. So I don't foresee that being a need. He's going to continue. They need to allow him to do whatever he has to do to be the leader, hence the reason why they brought him to Phoenix.
Okay. Michael, I have a question for you. Since you are the historian, 18 wins in a row. Do you think this team can make any type of case to being one of the greatest teams in this franchise's history?
In the franchise history, I would say so. I mean, when they had Adams and Paul Westphal, they had a great team. In franchise history, absolutely correct. But what I want to say, gentlemen, is a couple of things. Number one, me being the historian that I am, you talked about Chris Paul. Chris Paul has done more off the court than he has done on the court. Again, as I told you, I'm a historian. If you all look back, if it wasn't for Chris Paul, the former NBA players would not be receiving a pension. So Chris Paul and the Players Association did so many great things to help players who came before them. So I just want to get that in there. But to answer your question, and franchise history, absolutely. Now, going back to playoff, what was their weakness last year? They really had no depth in the middle. They have a little bit more depth this year, but I think it's going to hurt them in the playoffs. Now, Golden State, you got to remember, look how good they're playing without Clay, without Wiseman. I mean, Golden State, remember them a year ago, 2 years ago? Look how bad they played. And for them to be playing the way they are playing without Clay and without Wiseman, if Wiseman can do anything, protect the rim, be a rim protector, rebound, play some defense, the way they switch, the way they pass the ball around, their perimeter shooting, Golden State is going to be no joke.
Hey, and I got one more thing I want to bring up. Don't y'all know how tough it is to go a whole month without losing one game? They went a whole month without losing one game. You went a whole November without losing one freaking ball.
And
game.
it's look, man.
That is tough.
Look, man. I participated in No Shave November, right? So I look rough. These dudes are here talking about no loss November. When Homeboy said that,
they got 18-game win. It's the fact that the way they did it, the fact that they're playing above 500 ball clubs.
They're playing great.
The last game was Golden State, who people thought was the best team. Me and Coach believe they were the best team in basketball. Now, before I thought it was just a landslide. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't think. Now I still think Golden State is the best, but now it's close. To me, it's close. And if you want to say Phoenix is better, I won't even be mad at you with that. Because at this point, I think the top 2 teams is Golden State and Phoenix. Whatever order you want to put them,
agreed.
It is what it is. But as long as those 2 are up there, that's all that really matters. Let's do a quick preview of what we got in terms of games today. We got Heat at Pacers, Cavaliers at Wizards. That's going to be a banger. 76ers at Hawks, Timberwolves at Nets, Magic at Rockets. That's going to be another great game. Sorry, Casey. Pelicans at Mavs, Celtics at Jazz. That's going to be horrible. I already can tell. Clippers at Lakers, Suns at Warriors. Before we talk about that Suns game, Trey, you are our resident Laker expert. You are ride and die purple and gold. LeBron James is returning after, the 2 tests came back. He tested negative twice in a 24-hour span. So what are your expectations?
Of course, come on, guy. I'm not going. So I'm not a biased person at all. But I do expect the Lakers to get this win. Ryan back with LeBron coming back off. It wasn't like he came back from. He's coming back from an injury. He's coming back from the protocol, health protocol policy. So he should be ready to go. I think the team will galvanize around him, and they will start to do exactly what they need to do to kind of continue to gel. It's to be able to make this push to get up out the bottom of the conference and become effective. So I believe the Lakers going to get the win tonight.
Okay. Jay, this is for you. Your beloved Rockets play Magic. Is there any way this game will actually be good?
I think it'll be good. I mean, listen, I like Jalen Green. I like the Magic. I think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna. Look, man, it's not gonna be like a Warriors and Suns game. All right, let's not put it in that realm. But definitely, I think it'll be somewhat. I think it'll be competitive. I mean, the Rockets. I mean, they're rebuilding, man. Look. It's like the Dallas Cowboys right now. I don't know how the Rockets are going to play tonight. I think at the end of the day, though, I think they'll keep it competitive. I think they go either way, though. I think this game can go either way. But I think at the end of the day, I think the game will be competitive. It won't be a 73-point blowout. Let's put it that way.
Jay, like, look, as long as we don't lose by 73 or 74,
I consider that a win.
Yeah, he's as long as we don't break the record, we're good, Coach. Let me ask you a question. Obviously, you guys are playing the Magic. Are y'all worried about are you personally worried about taking an L?
When you're a rebuilding team, anytime you're a rebuilding team and you're starting from scratch, of course you're gonna worry about that. Like I said again, we turn the ball over a lot. We do turn the ball over a lot. We're not good at shooting free throws. But one thing we've been having and we've been playing with this, something that OKC didn't play with last night.
Time out, Coach. We got him.
Hey!
We got him.
Hey, boy,
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hey, where you been at? Hey, cool, where you been, man? I haven't seen you. You remember that day you said the Rockets were a disgrace? Now look how y'all look last night. Look how y'all look. And look how y'all looked the other night. But other than that, we missed.
But he's supposed to come to the front office.
We missed 3 starters. Kevin Porter Jr. went out the other night early with a hip injury, I believe with a thigh. Christian Wood went out early, and Jayshawn Tate put us on his back the other night against OKC and won that game. And it's always worried when we always going to be worried. Of course, we're going to be worried because you're a young team. You never know how a game going to go. We don't know how this game gonna go tonight. We could very much lose this game because the Magic are 5-18 coming into this game, and we are not too much better. We're 5-16, but we're hotter than them. So again, we can potential win, we can potential lose. But like I say, you always got to be worried when you're a rebuilding team. You just never know what team you're gonna get out there. So we can just limit the turnovers, make open shots like how we've been doing. Eric Gordon has been a leader for this team. Garrison Matthews been playing well. And Kevin Porter Jr. starting to play like he's a real legit point guard. And if we don't turn the ball over and make free throws and capitalize down the stretch, we can very much win this game. But yeah, you always got to be worried when you're on a young team. You just never know how they're gonna play.
Coach Dante, can I interject? You didn't mention how the Rockets are paying not the $40 million for John Wall. How can you explain that?
You say what?
John Wall is on the bench getting $40 million a year, and they don't want him to play.
No, he don't want to play. It's more of him.
Yeah,
It's more of him too. It's not just the organization.
Yeah, the problem with that situation is he still wants to start. They want him to come off the bench because they want to run through the young guys, and he doesn't want to come off the bench. He doesn't feel like
that's him. That's more him.
I mean,
that's more him, right? So
I mean, honestly, though, let's be honest, guys. Houston, the team that they have right now, they're trying to position themselves to build for the future. What we have going at the moment, and but now to coach to your thing, Houston looks good. They have a decent, young core that, to me, John Wall will take time away from and develop.
Exactly.
And if he's on the floor that much. So I'm at a pickle. I feel John Wall. I understand where John Wall's at. He's in a stage of career where going to the bench is not in his build.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
On the flip side,
I like the way he's been professional about everything, and he's still helping out the young guys.
To me,
on the bench. I like the way John Wall's been professional.
Yeah,
at this point of our stage, we made it clear to John Wall that we rebuilding through Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, and John Wall doesn't want to come off the bench, and I definitely agree because in this stage he wants to be a part of a playoff championship contending team, and he still can play. So I like the way him and
side.
Go ahead.
But on the flip side, I don't think Houston's handling this right because you got a guy that is available to obtain pieces to build this future team. Even if you only get one or two pieces and you get a future draft pick, that is way, way, way better of a situation than spending this $40 million on this guy that's not touching the floor.
Yeah, but who's going to take him?
The other thing is we're not even getting this guy because to me, from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing is he's not even participating in normal team activities at this moment. He's coming in here and there. So we're not even getting the veteran leadership from a phone room, a locker room, a nothing with this guy. So that $40 million we could definitely use elsewhere. I mean, there's a couple guys out there that we can scrounge together and make a better situation out of having John Wall with a $40 million tag on your bench.
I mean, I do get your point, but John Wall, when he is there, he is mentoring these young guys, so it's not like he's being, like a full blown cancer.
Yeah, but like, you want a guy that's putting 10% into your season, and you want a guy that's putting 100% into your season,
and $40 million a year.
But at the same time, here's the part that people are kind of forgetting. We forget that he was never supposed to wear a Rockets uniform, and when they traded him, the sole purpose was to get rid of Russ. And that same offseason, they wanted to flip him to get picks. The problem was the contract, because the only people who were interested was like, we're not going to pay all this money when he's not the missing piece. Like he'll be a good piece, but a lot of teams are like, why are we going to play $40+ million for a dude that's not going to be a star? We're not going to build.
So you're saying he got the Ben Simmons situation going on?
Kind of, but he's a little better because with John Wall, it's just the contract. With Ben Simmons, not only is it the contract, but people are questioning, does he even want to play? So that's kind of the difference where Ben Simmons, people are like, does he even care about playing ball? With John Wall, he wants to play. It's just, Houston, can you swallow a little bit of that contract to make it work? That's really the only thing it is,
Do you think his gang affiliation and those videos this summer had anything to do with what teams are trying to stay away from him?
I don't believe so. I don't believe. I think John Wall still can very much play. I think he still very much play in this league. So I don't believe that's the case.
You do bring up a good point. You do. Until you realize in Washington, whenever he would get an and-1, he was throwing up signs on the court.
Correct.
You know what I mean? JR did the same thing in Denver and New York, and he was still being able to go to other teams. So did it? Maybe for certain teams, but I don't think it.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, right?
Go ahead.
But and I agree, because you got the Quentin Richardsons, you got, you know, like the guys you just named, James Hardens, and all these guys that have done these things on the court, but they never took it that next step. And I think that, you know, putting up this symbol can be multi-use, and they can cover it up with different verbiage to say, no, this was the 3-pointer I made, or no, this is what we do for the team. This is what so there's ways to cover that part up. You cannot cover up a video that is specifically showing you with the rags that you're representing, specifically showing you talking about where you are from with that rag representation, and specifically idolizing and classifying you as this particular person, this blood, this gang member, this guy. So I agree with you 1000%. There's other guys in the league that have done these type of notions, but no one has taken it to the next step on camera that John Wall has. And it's just real funny that John Wall, a year and a half ago, was one of the best point guards talked about in this league. And then this happens, and now he can't get on the basketball court. No one wants to trade for him. So I think that might have something to do with it.
And I'll be honest, it might have something to do with certain teams. For all we know, hey, you could be right, and it could be the sole reason that they don't want to bring him in because they don't want to be associated with that. That is a possibility, but at the same time, he's been, you know, throwing up signs. Like I said, he'll get an N1 and he starts screaming, and he out here throwing up, like, he'll be throwing up signs, and it's like, I'm out here ducking, like, oh, what's gonna happen? And I'm at home. I'm not even next to the court. I'm out here ducking. That's how scared he got me. But Greg, let me ask you a quick question, because this is actually a decent question posed by Damien. With the world being in the pandemic and with this new variant coming out in California, do you think it's possible that we could see another sports shutdown? Greg, what do you think?
Possibly. It depends on how bad, you know, the variant is. I really hope it doesn't, because it's about to be playoff time, and, you know, in the NFL here in the next month, and, you know, we got Super Bowl. So I hope it doesn't get to that point. But with these variants, you just never know how bad they are until, you know, they actually, you know, start, you know, happening and people start getting it. So I hope not. I really do hope that, you know, it's not as bad as people say that it's going to be, but we just don't know until some time passes. And, you know,
so it's, and by the way, yes, we do use StreamYard, just throwing it out there. There was another question that I want to
big shout out to him over there in Komodo Island of Indonesia.
That's deep.
Wow.
Yeah, bro, that's deep. That 100%, bro. That's deep. So,
yo,
shout out, bro.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, 100%.
Can I make a comment on that real quick before we do move on?
Go ahead. Full short, go ahead.
I hope we don't, just like Greg said. We won't know what this variant strength is until it really hits. But the one thing I do want to emphasize is the Antonio Browns, the Aaron Rodgers, and those type of things are really going to put us in a bad predicament if more things like that start coming out. Because that unravel exactly the whole thing that led up to us even returning. I mean, let's not forget, guys, in June, we were worried. We didn't know if we were going to have a season. College and NFL, you know, and for the Antonio Brown situation, what are we, week 13? And then what was it, week 8 or 9, and Aaron Rodgers comes out. So we're halfway through the season, a little over halfway now, but we still got a long stretch with playoffs to go. And I'm just hoping this doesn't unravel and become a bigger situation and put us in a bad situation for next year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if this ends up happening, it would be kind of, you know, it would be bad. Trey, let me ask you a question, because Jay did bring up a good point in terms of what Aaron Rodgers did and what Antonio Brown did. Do you think, let's say for unfortunately the all sports shut down, right? When the conversations about them start coming back up to restart it, do you think the people who are against sports coming back, do you think they're gonna bring up what Aaron Rodgers did and what Antonio Brown did, and hell, even John Franklin III, who, like I said, no one knows who he is, and they'll probably do you think they would use that to prove, oh yeah, we shouldn't have sports now?
Of course they are, because again, like we were talking about earlier, AB isn't the marquee name he was, but he is a name that has some notoriety. So with that being said, you need something to lean on and something to grasp at to sit up and be like, okay, this is what you have. Your top players, the ones in which you look at, who you place your league on, who you take a look at as being those top people in your league, and they're not even in compliance. So why should we continue to do with that? So I would do it. You know what I'm saying? You have to, it's content is a reason. And we know, saying we do this media thing, you need content, and that's content. And usually the content drives the conversation.
Yeah, so like I said, I just want to throw the name. So obviously it's Antonio Brown. It's backup safety Mike Edwards. I'm going to say it one more time. Free agent wide receiver John Franklin III. Who, can anyone tell me what team he played for? Yeah, I didn't think so. So obviously, dudes that no one really talks about, I guarantee they're going to be brought up and said, this is why they shouldn't do it.
I have a unique question.
Oh,
I wonder if they have some type of relationship. I wonder if there's a central point. Like, do they got the same?
You're talking about these three gentlemen.
Agent? Yes. Do they have the same agent? Because it's just weird that AB gets popped and these two no-namers. Because I'm gonna be really honest, guys. They're not the NFL ain't out here spending all this money investigating every single person. They ain't. And I don't think they're taking the time like that. There's a whistleblower. That's how AB got caught up in the first place, was a whistleblower. So with that whistleblown, who else was involved in that whistleblow? That's my thing. Because I think that's
the chef. It was the chef that was like, hey, yo,
that might be hey, that who might be AB boy.
Yeah, the chef.
I just want to just bear with me for a moment because I'm trying to figure out
if there is me all year.
Nah, bro, I'm really trying to figure this out because honestly, that is an element that no one really talked about at all. Like the fact that these dudes could know each other. The third. But while I'm doing that, Coach, let me ask you something. For some reason, right, every single time, like lately, especially with the whole COVID thing, right, something always happens where the league is at the bare minimum in jeopardy, whether it be for a week, for a month. It's always this thing where it's in jeopardy, right? If you're the league, is there anything you can potentially do? Now, I know in terms of 100%, there's nothing they can do. But is there anything you can do that when when you're on shaky waters, you can at least convince the public, look, we know this is rough, but we can handle this. So in layman's terms, how is there a way that the league can build a bridge of trust with the public after not only they suspended Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, not the father, not senior, junior, for deflated balls, and then let Aaron Rodgers skate scot-free like nothing, and then on top of that, suspended AB for 3 games? Is there any way the NFL can build the trust back with the public, Coach?
I think it's definitely. I don't think it's a way because again, I think it's always some type of way to try to build something, but it's unfair to kind of suspend Antonio Brown 3 games and then. I mean, Aaron Rodgers completely lied to the in public and then just gets a slap on the wrist. Just absolutely just get fined, and the NFL just done nothing about it. But they all of a sudden come out and just suspend Antonio Brown. It's always a way you can build trust back, but it's gonna take a while for that to happen. But it's nothing that they can really do. But I'm just thinking, you know, that's kind of that didn't sit right. I think they should have treated Antonio Brown the same way. I mean, just slap him with a fine. But I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers again. People want to see Aaron Rodgers play, and it makes me feel like sometimes they protected these type of players, like Aaron Rodgers or something like that. And then Tom Brady gets suspended. He gets suspended for 4 games. Aaron Rodgers doesn't get suspended when he lied and came out and said he wasn't vaccinated. He could have killed a lot of people. He could have got a lot of people sick. But Antonio Brown does just get a 3-game suspension. So again, hey, something's got to be done about this situation. You got to stop handing handoffs to people. But I don't see I don't see a way you can do something. What you can do actually.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I just want to say one thing. So I did some sleuthing, right? I basically turned into my ex when she thought I was cheating. I was, but that's neither here nor there. I did some sleuthing. So obviously Antonio Brown and Mike Edwards, they're teammates, right? John Franklin III, who I will say again for the 3rd time, he actually was a part of Tampa Bay for training camp and then got released. And while he was there, he actually did formulate a pretty nice relationship with Antonio Brown.
So again, like I said, Pride, it sounded suspicious. And, you know, once we dig it a little bit, that chef was feeding all 3 of them, and 2 of them wasn't tipping right. And that's how this
I'm saying, bro, no cap. No cap.
And he didn't pay them bills.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, Jay.
I don't care what says.
Jay, tell him again. What'd you say last night? What happens? Pay them bills, man.
Pay them bills. Hey, listen, you missed that payment. Hey, listen, it's all bets are off. Hey, listen, you know how much of a lemon yard costs?
Hey, yo, my
and
guy.
you want the trimmings with it too? And you want me to cook it? You like a baby? Well, let me just go ahead and get the
truffle. Take care.
He needed that garlic truffle.
I know, Damien, that's the goal. That's the goal. Look, and I'm telling you right now, this is the conversation they had. He went up to AB. He was like, "Yo, AB, look, I'm telling you, man, you got to fork up some dinner." He said, "What you talking about?" And the chef was like, "Oh, for real? For real? You ain't gonna pay me?" I was like, yo, my guy was out here dry snitching like a mug. I'm telling you.
He said, "You ain't paying for my special garlic sauce."
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, you don't want to pay? It's good. Someone else will pay. They'll pay for another dish. I'm cooking up. Right. Keep playing with me." The chef was like, "Yo, AB, play stupid games. Nothing's gonna happen." But the NCAA conference championship games, we have some decent ones. So for the ACC, it's number 15 Pittsburgh versus number 16 Wake Forest. For the Big Ten, number 2 Michigan versus number 13 Iowa. Pac-12, number 10 Oregon versus number 17 Utah. SEC, number 1 Georgia versus number 3 Alabama. That's gonna be a good one. Big 12, number 5 Oklahoma State versus number 9 Baylor. For the American Conference, number 4 Cincinnati versus number 21 Houston. Conference USA, UTSA versus Western Kentucky. MAC, Northern Illinois versus Kent State. Mountain West, number 19 San Diego State versus Utah State. And for the Sun Belt, number 24 Louisiana versus Appalachian State. I almost said Appalachian Mountains. Trey, you are the guy when it comes to college that I look to. You inspire me. You are the guy. You are my encyclopedia, my thesaurus, my dictionary. You are my go-to. So do me a favor. If there's any game you want to break down, please, floor is yours.
Oh, so we're not gonna go with the obvious ones. I would like to. Yeah. Who was UTSA playing?
So UTSA, who's apparently they're horrible. I didn't know that at all. Western
horrible,
Kentucky,
aren't they? Undefeated?
Yeah, Jay. No, they have one loss. Jay,
meat.
But yeah, they play.
If you guys haven't heard, we had Carolina Teague on here a few times. She's a local San Antonio host. She hosts a radio show out there, and she does a couple of things sportscast wise. We've had her on the show. She actually dropped a UTSA theme song featuring Meat that's
I'm
going
telling you right
viral.
now,
So if you haven't
I
seen
need to
that,
meet
big
her.
shots out to Carolina team.
I need to meet her just for that. I want that theme song because a lot of people do not like UTSA. So every single time someone goes, "Oh, UTSA is bad," I want to play that theme song loud.
Hey,
And
she'll
matter of
love
fact,
it.
I'm
She'll
playing
love
that.
it.
There's gonna be a moment of silence for every show I do from now on, playing that song. But yeah, trying to answer this question, they play Western Kentucky.
Okay, so what I go with, oddly enough, Western Kentucky is the favorite team in that. But in any case, I'm gonna go with the Raging Cajuns. I'm out here in Louisiana. Lafayette's only 2 hours up the highway from me. We're gonna go with the Raging Cajuns in the Appalachian State Mountaineers. So the Cajuns have been on the cusp, sitting on the cusp of a breakout. Like they're consistent lately. As even their, I think their coach was being looked at for some of the coaching jobs in the NCAA football carousel. So I think the Cajuns are going to be able to pull this out by 14 points against Appalachian State. I think they have what it takes. They have a opponent off balance offense and defense. I don't foresee them taking the L in this one for them to come out victorious this weekend for the Sun Belt Championship.
All right. So obviously we went with you. Now that guy we gotta go with. I was gonna wait. I was gonna let him be the final one, but nope. I don't want anyone taking any of his picks. I don't want none of this. I want this. I want you to, destroy my mind, Coach Dante. Talk to your boy.
Okay, this is the moment everybody been waiting for. 4 weeks in a row, 4 upsets, 4 upset picks in a row, 4 weeks in a row. So, last week when Pride you asked that question, is Michigan going to the national championship game? Is they going to the playoff? Well,
I remember that.
Tell him.
Well, first of all, they won't even make it past this game. So how they're going to go to a play? It just seemed like the mission they always had was to beat Ohio State. So they are so happy of beating Ohio State. I want to know going to this game will they have a little bit, a slight drop off a little bit, since they already got Ohio State up out of there. Now, let me remind you, Iowa is a very good football team. Penn State was number 2. Iowa beat Penn State. That's who beat Penn State. Iowa is a very physical, they're sound, they're a great tackling football team. They run the ball pretty well. So I got Iowa in a upset pick over Michigan. I think they're too overhyped about beating Ohio State. They got Ohio State up out of there. But we'll find out because I am doing that game tomorrow. I am doing that Michigan game tomorrow. And one more pick that I'm going to go with. One more pick that I'm going to go with.
Bangers.
Sorry, Cincinnati. But I think Houston is going to get them.
Come on, don't do
I
that.
think
Don't
Houston is going to get them. I'm going bold. I'm going bold. I think Houston is going to get Cincinnati. I think Houston.
That means Notre Dame.
I think Houston. Hey, I'm seeing the way. I do not like the way Cincinnati has been playing the last couple of weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
I will give you that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the way they played against East Carolina. They played bad. They played bad against some bad teams. They played terrible against bad teams all year. If you actually looked at them play, they have not played good against bad teams. They played great against good teams, but you played terrible against awful teams. So the upset alert, and I hope this don't happen. So Notre Dame can get in now and just get frustrated and beat down again. Hope this don't happen. And I'm not afraid to go bold. Everybody know Coach Dante not afraid to go bold.
Yep.
But Michigan and Cincinnati will fall this weekend and will mess up a playoff bracket. It will mess up everything. They're gonna find a way to put Ohio State back.
Bama gonna lose to the
They're gonna find a way to screw Oklahoma State. They're gonna find a way to do it.
I'm gonna put it to you this way, bro. Gritty and Yuki, I think you and I are on the same page. You better leave them Chick-fil-A Bearcats alone, Dante. Leave them alone. Listen, look.
They just gotta come through one game. One game. They just
Look.
got
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Cincy, they smacking the bricks off Houston, and I'm so confident. Coach, you trying to bet?
You said trying to bet what?
I got Cincy. You got Houston. What we trying to do? And because that game is tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, I think the game is tomorrow. I think every
I'm
game
gonna clear my
tomorrow.
schedule. I'm gonna clear my schedule. I was supposed to do something early in the morning. I'm gonna clear it. You and I are gonna sit down. You and I are gonna watch the game. You and I are gonna enjoy the whooping that they're not even my team, but damn it, I'm gonna claim.
They're not even my team either.
Bearcats for the put on your Houston team, my guy.
Hey, Houston Cougars
Hey,
aren't even my
about to
team.
take
I love
care of them.
Texas. They ain't even my
Thank
team.
you, Jay.
They ain't even my team.
Look,
He's a Texas guy. Coach Dante's a Texas guy.
Jay,
Yup.
Jay, this man out here done disrespecting Cincinnati after he was on my side saying they've been disrespecting.
I was on Cincinnati side, but I don't like the way they've been playing. Bro.
Okay, bet. So here's
I just don't like the way they've been playing football.
Coach, when the game happens, you and I, we're gonna have a little watch along, and let's see.
All right, let's do
And
it.
when
We
my
can do
Cincinnati
that.
Bearcats win, I'm gonna be living my best life.
Hey, I hope they. I actually hope they do it though. I actually hope they do it. I ain't gonna lie.
No, don't do that. No. Don't do that. Don't give yourself an out. Don't do that on me, baby. Don't do that to me. Jay, clearly there's some solid games. Which game you looking forward to the most?
So I'm gonna do two things here. I'm gonna tell you why my couple picks, but I'm also gonna tell you how it's gonna finish, how it's gonna look next week. So Oregon is gonna take care of Utah. Utah got one in the season. Oregon's gonna come out and take care of it this time around. However, you guys, Georgia will remain number one next week. They will beat
Absolutely not.
Alabama this week. They will beat man. They gonna beat them, man.
My dog was
They
okay.
gonna beat Alabama this week. Okay. Hey, so we got Georgia. We got Michigan wrapping up Iowa to hold on to that number 2. We got Cincinnati moving to number 3.
Woo!
And y'all, out of all the teams, I did not think I would be saying this at the end of the year, but I think Oklahoma State slides in and takes number 4.
Yo, coach.
to the crib.
Coach, who said that, coach? Who said that, coach?
Jay, I said,
Look
hey,
out.
I said,
Yo,
Michigan
me
is
and
gonna
Delta
get
been
beat.
screaming that we told him. We said Oklahoma State got a legitimate
Yeah, I've been
chance.
saying
I said that. Hey,
Yeah.
Michigan is not gonna get past Iowa State. That's gonna open up Oklahoma.
You know
State
the problem
again.
with Iowa? You know the problem with Iowa?
Educate us.
The problem with Iowa is every year this is their doom week. This is doom week for Iowa.
Yep.
Every single year they get to this freaking week and they don't know how to play it.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
is
but it's
the
less
week
pressure.
Iowa falls every year. No, it's not. It's worse pressure. They
No,
don't have
because
Iowa
like
State.
they're
They
not
don't
in
have
a
somebody
playoff
like that
hunt.
they're
Though.
used to.
They're not in a playoff hunt. They've been out since they lost that last game to Michigan State. They've been out, so it's more pressure on Michigan
you're right.
to perform. It's more pressure, way more pressure on Michigan.
Oh yeah, no.
But
Way
here's the
more
thing.
pressure on
Dante.
Michigan.
Here's
They
the
have to
thing.
win.
Go ahead, Jay.
This is why I disagree with that. Real quick, what has Jim Harbaugh's whole freaking goal been the whole time he's been at Michigan?
Make the playoff, and beat
No,
Ohio
it was
State.
No,
It's two.
No,
Ohio
two.
State
No,
first.
number 1.
Beat Ohio State
Ohio
first.
State.
and
Say
then
that
make the
again,
playoff.
Greg.
Beat Ohio
Say that
State.
again.
Yeah, it was Ohio
Beat
State.
Ohio
That was the
State.
number one
That's
thing.
the
Thank
first
you.
thing.
His
Yes.
season is accomplished. His season, this
Yeah.
is the first time, y'all. He can lose every game for the next year and a half, and that will still ride. Okay? He has accomplished what they signed him up to accomplish.
Yep.
So now he just got a contract extension this year. He just got some extra some little. He might have a car in the garage that he don't even know about yet. Okay, him beating Ohio State was the championship. There is no pressure on Michigan. Michigan's about to go out. We're going to see a whole nother team. They're about to go out here and look stretched out, they're going to look like they've been preparing for this game all year and they ain't played a game yet because they don't have anything to lose anymore. Michigan's this is the best opportunity, the best year that they've ever had because the pressure's off Harbaugh's shoulders. I'm telling you.
I mean, not. And
you know what, Coach Dante?
Hold on, Coach. Let Trey
go ahead.
I was sitting here thinking, right? Ooh. I actually think Baylor's gonna beat Oklahoma State.
Whoa! Say that with a straight face one time.
It's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched.
So hold on. So matter of fact,
that's possible.
Let me ask you one question. Trey, let me ask you one quick question because I'm gonna go along the line because you believe Oklahoma State loses. Let me ask you something. Let's say Oklahoma State loses. In terms of the college playoff, does it then matter if Bama wins? Does it matter if Michigan wins? Because if we're going to be honest, the only team that's really close on their heels, I mean, maybe Notre Dame, maybe. But the only legit team I can see sneaking in is Oklahoma State. So if they lose, does it then really matter if Michigan loses? Does it really matter if Bama loses? Like, does any of that truly matter?
Yeah, it's
always matters if Bama loses.
Yeah, it's still going to matter. Yeah, it's still going to matter, but I mean, it's going to make it a lot. It's going to make it a lot harder to say, okay, who do we slide Notre Dame in here because Oklahoma has lost, and now we have Alabama and we have Michigan lost. Yeah, it's going to matter. No matter whether they win or lose, but if Oklahoma State loses to Baylor, that's going to completely put a whole monkey wrench in everything. Because now you're looking at everything. Do we really want Notre Dame in here without who doesn't have anyone to play? You know what I'm saying? So that's going to make it's really going to make a difference. If Oklahoma State losing is going to throw a complete monkey wrench into what possibly could have happened, especially if Alabama and Michigan lose, which I don't foresee Michigan losing. So it's just, yes, it does matter. It makes a really big difference.
Okay. Wow. I mean, let me just throw this out there. I just want to, because I'm going to be a cornball. UTSA is beating Western Kentucky, and then when they win, I just want to say one thing right quick. Everyone who disagree with me, y'all know what y'all can lick. I'm just throwing that out there real quick. Jay, let me ask you a question specifically about Georgia and Alabama. Now, I believe Georgia's going to win. I believe it's going to be easy. And everyone I've ever spoke to, there have been a couple people who said Alabama's better, but they're just people who don't know college football. People who know college football say this year, Georgia is the best team built top to bottom. Like, they're the best program, and everyone else is just fighting for second. So, Jay, I get it. You're shaking your head no. You think Bama's better, smoking herbs. But people let me ask you.
I don't think Bama's better. I just don't think Georgia's the best team in football.
So, all right, matter of fact, keep that in mind. I'm going to ask you that question afterwards. Keep that in the back of your mind. Jay, let's say Alabama loses. Do you think that if they lose, they'll get dropped to the 4th spot, or do you think they'll drop even lower?
Well, it's going to depend, right? Because just like you said, you got Cincinnati, and if they lose to Houston, or you got Michigan if they lose to Iowa. I mean, there's a lot of variables up in there. I mean, it's a 46% chance. It's a 46%.
Let me give you a scenario. I'm going to give you this scenario.
Yeah.
So, Bama loses. Oklahoma State wins.
Oh, absolutely. Oklahoma State's going to slide up and Bama's going to drop down. Because they only got a 46% chance. 11-2 Bama team only had a 46% chance of getting into the top 4. But like you said, if Oklahoma State beats Baylor, they're going to drop out. There's no way they don't drop out. But like I said, Cincinnati's got to win. Michigan's got to win. Otherwise, Bama could slide back up in. So there's a lot of variables that plays into that.
Okay. Jay, you said Georgia is not the best program.
Which is bullshit.
Oh.
Wait. Hold on. Was that Jay? Was that Jay?
I think it was Jay.
That was me.
I knew it was
Jay. Hey, I ain't attacking their program. I'm not attacking their program. They actually have the best program in football.
I hope you say that because I'm gonna come find you tomorrow when Georgia beats Bama, and I'm gonna hear it out of your mouth. Matter of fact, I got a bet with you. Let's stream it, you and me, baby.
Hey, I'm
But
okay
let me-
with
but-
it, but let me tell you before we even go over there, I am no part of no Roll Tide, nothing. So if they lose, I'm gonna congratulate you and jump up and down with you because I don't want them to win at all.
But who? So when you said Georgia wasn't the best, were you just trolling?
No, I just really don't think that Georgia's the best team out there. I think that Georgia honestly has had a good shake this year on their side of the bracket. I think that their side of the bracket has been a little not as strong as what they're used to going in, especially not last. Obviously, we had that COVID year, but the year before, I think the Georgia's just kind of squeaked by. But this year has been really weird, honestly. Alabama's a really good football team, and I think that they had a couple of shakes that kind of put them out of it. But honestly, guys, Cincinnati hasn't scored less than 25 points since Notre Dame. They're putting up 40s and 50s, you guys. They're great on offense, spread offense that translates to the NFL if they took this same playbook and moved over. They have a great defense that usually keeps up with whoever they put on the field, night in and night out, okay? And there's one thing about winning and losing that people don't always put into play and put into context. What's the gap? What's the average gap? Blowing people by 20 points a game. Okay? So, and I'm talking about night in and night out. We're talking about 20 points a game. And Con, I kind of seen you over there. I know they ain't playing the best competition every single week. But you could agree when you people by 25 points and you putting up 48 and 50, it means something.
Absolutely.
Nah, apparently it doesn't, because at the end of the day, you can go over, but if you're playing ranked teams every single week, you should be able to get into the college playoffs that way. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I guess that's
Notre Dame does.
Yeah, Notre Dame. Yeah.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just
Notre Dame does.
I've said this before and I say it again. If strength of schedule is your number one thing, you don't watch college football. You just look at ESPN and you watch the occasional bowl game because it's trendy. So I'm just throwing that out there. Excuse me, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Before we move on, I want you to give me your predictions, and I'm gonna go through everybody, so don't worry. I want you to give me your predictions. Who do you think is going to be the top 4 teams after this weekend?
I believe it's going to be Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati. The number 4 is always a hectic.
Here's the one.
And it's in that order, correct? You have it in that order?
Yeah, in that order.
Okay, just making sure.
Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati.
So who you got?
Alabama.
Alabama. So you got Bama at 4 still? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay, give me your top 4.
Oh, okay. In college?
Yes, sir. At the end of this, when it's all said and done, who do you think is going to be the top 4?
Sundays.
Yeah,
Sunday.
definitely. So it's still going to be Georgia. I think it's still going to be Georgia. I think it should be Cincinnati at number 2, because I know Cincinnati's going to beat Houston. I'm a Houston. I like Houston. I'm from Houston, but I'm a Texas guy. So, and I've always been a Texas. My whole family's gone to Texas, so I'm a Texas guy. But anyway, but I think Cincinnati's going to beat Houston. So I think it's going to be Georgia, Cincy. Michigan, I think. Oh God, I would love to see Iowa beat Michigan. I just would. But I think Michigan's going to take that one, and then I think Bama's going to fall. So I think it's going to be Oklahoma State after Michigan.
Okay, Greg, who you think going to be the top 4?
It will still be the same 4. It'll be Georgia, it'll be Alabama, it'll be Michigan, and it'll be Cincinnati. The reason why I say that is Alabama beating Georgia.
Real quick, Greg, before you go into detail, is that the order you got your 4? Is that like the top order?
Well, if Michigan would be 1, and then Bama would be 2.
What you got that Kool-Aid?
And then it'll be Georgia and then Cincy.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm like, go ahead, Greg, spice it up, baby. Let's go.
I just want to do a little different, do something a little different. But
But the difference is great. It's different is great, but it doesn't make no damn sense.
It kind of does, because if you think about it,
no, it doesn't.
So go ahead.
Alabama, that's a bull. I didn't see you. You need to send Alabama game together.
No, but if Georgia loses, hold on, but if Georgia loses to Alabama, they're gonna drop to like 3 or 4th. Like 3 or 4, they're gonna drop.
They're gonna drop.
I cannot imagine them losing and then them staying being at number 1.
No, they're
especially
not.
with how it's been this year.
No. Alabama,
they won't stay at 1.
This is the
You
year
think so?
for Georgia, but
I'm gonna let you go after Jay.
But I can't go against Nick Saban in a big game. I just can't do it. I tried. I thought about it all week. I was like, can I really go against it? And I was like, no, I can't. So Bama's going to win that game. I think that so Georgia will be the only one of the top 4 that would lose. Even with that one loss, Georgia is still going to stay in the top 4. So those are the 4 teams that I have. As long as Notre Dame ain't in it, I am good.
So you believe in terms of the top 4, you think Cincy's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
You think obviously Bama is gonna win, obviously, because you got them over Georgia, and you think Michigan is gonna win. So you think Georgia's gonna be the only one with a loss. Okay, wow. You know what? I'm not mad at that. I disagree, but I'm not mad at that. Jay, you look like you want to.
We're gonna have 3 one-loss teams. Yeah, it just listen, guys. Before I
record, Jay, hold on, but Jay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Records don't matter. Records do not matter. That's what everyone's been telling me. Records supposedly don't matter. You can have a team that's 11-1, and we could.
Then I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Records supposedly don't matter.
McLovin. That's about as bad as last night. Him with Freddie, who told us that an 18-game win streak ain't nothing, but he was happy about his 2-game win streak. It don't make sense. It just don't make sense.
The 2-game win streak was below 500 teams. I mean, come on.
Right. It just don't make sense no more.
How do you think the top 4 is going to end up after this weekend?
I'm going to tell you something right now. Whether I like Notre Dame or not, if there's 3 one-loss teams in the BCS and Notre Dame is not in here, throw the rankings away, because it don't make sense at all no more. But at the end of the day, I told you guys, my 4 is going to be Georgia's going to win this game. It's their year, is set up that way. College football has had so many upsets this year. It's been stupid. So Georgia's going to hang on. Then we got Michigan. And I'll be perfectly honest, Cincy should be number 2 after this week.
Absolutely, they should be number 2.
I'm there with you,
bro. They win this game, whether Michigan wins or not. It doesn't matter. 13-0, and the champion of their conference.
I've been saying that we need to put respect on the records, because the records have to matter.
Respect on it.
They have to.
Hey, and then a lot of people talk about being consistent. Cincinnati's been doing this for the past 3 years. This is year number 3. This is the anointment. Anoint they butt up into there and see what they can do. Y'all did this stuff with Boise State a few years back. Y'all did this stuff. Y'all tried to sneak BYU into some bullshit. It's about that time. Put Cincinnati in there. Let them get the limelight and let it run. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be like that. In Alabama, I'm sorry. We can have a I wish you were better bowl between Notre Dame and Alabama.
Yeah. So, Coach,
I'm saying it.
But wait, real quick, Jay, did you give us your top 4?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Georgia's going to hang on to number 1. Cincy number 2. Michigan number 3. Oklahoma State slides in for 4.
Yeah, that's that's what I see as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that doesn't bother me at all. Coach, what are you thinking? How's your list go? How's your list looking after this weekend?
UTSA number 1.
Look here, Jay. Look here. Hold on, now, because that was a shot at me. Look here, you little mother. Me here, goddammit. All right. If you don't want to put him at 1, that's fine. I talked to Coach about this. God damn it.
Where's
There should be
Carolina
a top 15 team. God damn it. I said it before. They should be a top 15. They need to. I think between 15 and 10 could be them. I ain't gonna say one, but god damn it, if we ain't go, respect them. Respect them, Jay. Respect them, Jay. My bad, coach. It's just somebody out here was trying to trigger me and make me say very nasty words. So go ahead, coach. Who's gonna be a top 4?
Well, since I got everything is probably almost imploding this weekend, for my expected, it's just a bold prediction. I think, like I said, I think Iowa is a very good team. I think they're gonna upset Michigan, and I kind of see Cincinnati falling, even though I hope they don't fall. So I'm gonna make another bold prediction that you will finally, probably for the first time, you will probably have to see if it goes if it goes this way. God, I hope it don't goes this way. Lord Jesus, save it. Just Jesus Christ, if it doesn't go this way, you may see a 2-loss team. If it goes this way, not saying it will happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but you may see your first 2-loss team in a college football playoff. But what 2-loss team you may see? You'll either see Alabama, Ohio State. They got two losses. You may see them get thrown back in, because then that will become a discussion. If can Ohio State beat Alabama head to head, that will be a discussion. And they're gonna find a way to try to chunk Alabama right back in now. So that's why I hope Alabama kind of falls, and none of this that I got played off goes through, and everybody else handle their business. So this is what I got. I got Georgia. Clearly everybody's gonna have Georgia. I got Oklahoma State. I got Notre Dame, and I'm gonna throw Bama in now. They're gonna find a way to put them back in over. They're gonna say they're the best 2-loss team out of every 2-loss team over there. They're gonna say they're the best, even though I hope it don't happen. That's just a bold prediction, but I hope everything just basically stays the same.
Michael, at the end of the weekend, who you got as the top 4?
Well, let me tell y'all something. I heard y'all predictions and all that, but let me tell you something real quick. Number 1 will be Alabama. Number 2 will be Cincinnati. Number 3 will be Georgia. Number 4 will be Michigan. And don't sneeze on Notre Dame. How many times does an independent get to go to the Final Four?
I mean, yeah, I get it. I get why people are trying to throw in Notre Dame. I'll be honest. I don't think so. I'll be honest. I think Ohio State has a better chance of getting in there than Notre Dame this year. And I think the reason saying is because a lot of people like Coach Dante, they just don't want Notre Dame in there because every time it's like this bad taste. I don't think it's fair to keep holding it against them, but a lot of people hold it against them that every time they get in there, they get mollywopped and they just look like they're just wasting the spot and they took it from someone else who would have a better chance. So based on that, I can imagine them being out. I mean, I got Georgia
give you the flashy game. They don't give you the flashy game. It's more boring and just kind of like whatever, predictable.
Exactly. Like that.
Yeah, they just see the problem I got with that, man. When they make it to the playoff, they not even competitive. These are blowout losses. These are blowout losses. Yep. So to make it seem like, hey, they shouldn't be on the same field with Alabama. They should be on the same field with Georgia. See, that's the problem I got with Notre Dame. Every time they make it, it's a blowout. The game is not even competitive. It's not even close. A close game.
Yeah, I mean,
can I say this though? I feel like every time that Notre Dame is in one of these positions, their coach is about to leave. Like, their coach is leaving, or they got a quarterback leaving that's not playing in the game or something. I feel like Notre Dame never goes into championship week or BCS with a team that they started the year with ever. This year, aren't they? The coach ain't coaching for it.
Yeah,
I know he did. Yeah,
it's true. He did. Yeah,
true. But their next head coach is the coach, though.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman, he was the defensive coordinator, so there is some familiarity. So they might be all right. For me, I got Georgia at 1. Like I said, I genuinely believe that this program, top to bottom, is the best program in college football this year. Again, Jay, you're gonna disagree with me, and it's okay. But I genuinely feel like that. With that being said, obviously, that means Alabama is gonna lose to them. At least that's what I believe. So at 2, I have Cincinnati, and I genuinely believe I like Cincy. I'm hoping this is the week they get a little bit of respect. I'm hoping, but again, I've been hoping for the same respect for UTSA. And after one loss, they got bounced out, and they got an 8-4 team in there. So again, when it comes to respect, God knows if they'll even get it. But for me, I got Cincy at 2. I'm gonna put Michigan at 3. I think the reason Michigan was at 2 was because since they beat Ohio State with that huge storyline, Jim Harbaugh was thirsty for the win. And Jay, we were talking about Jim Harbaugh right before that game, and we all basically agreed on his contract. There's 3 clauses. There's basically 3 goals he had. 1, beat Ohio State. That was number 1. That was the one that they started, had in all caps, bolded, underlined, double the font, and like they have that number 1. Number 2 was make the championship game, and 3, win it. And that's really how they looked at it. They were like, win it. Like, if you can win it, great. But your number 1 thing is Ohio State. I genuinely believe since they beat Ohio State, that hunger might, I don't want to say it's going to be gone, but it's going to drop a little bit. I think it'll drop some. And Iowa is not dog shit. Like, a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's just Iowa, the 13. Bro, like I think Coach said it, this is a very physical team. And in terms of defense, they do something that, in terms of programs, a lot of guys don't teach how to tackle properly. They don't try to tackle you and just do those hit sticks you see.
Yeah, but what's their record? What's their record in December historically?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because you want to know why I say that doesn't matter? Because,
it really does.
No, because this year, when you play, at the end of the day, you're coming in with a new slate. Yeah, if they repeat history, that's on them. But I'm not going to say, hold on. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, that's the equivalent of me saying, oh, yeah, bro. Remember that year Golden State choked a 3-1 lead? Oh, my God, bro. Now, every time they're up 3-something, they're going to choke it. That's like saying that. And it's
that's very situational. But that's very situational, Pride. You know what I mean?
No, for me,
I'm just saying on the forefront of this.
Hold on. If you want to use that for your argument, that's fine. That's fine. For me, that's not the end all be all. That's not how it is for me.
It's not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all.
And that's what I'm saying.
But it makes me very skeptical going into this again. It's like it's like you're going in for an investment. You're looking at this team, and by the way, every single year when they get here, this happens.
Yeah, talking about Iowa.
So
okay, I just want to make sure.
Correct. After they'll be great all through November, and then that last they fumble the ball every single freaking time. So and when I look at it, as much as I want to punch them in, just hard to say, and especially against Michigan.
No,
it's just hard to say.
I'm not saying. Hold on, I think you're mishearing me. I'm not saying Iowa's gonna make it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying Michigan's gonna win, but a lot of people are saying that this Iowa team is horrible and it's gonna be a stomp.
No, they're not horrible.
That's all
they're
I'm saying.
really
I'm just
good.
saying it's not
gonna
be a stomp. I understand it's December, but I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, Iowa's gonna lose because 2 years ago they fumbled the ball on the 3-yard line, then they picked it up and tried to throw it, and then it was an incomplete pass. And 5 years ago, on December 13th, at like 2:57 in the morning, the quarterback woke up from a nightmare and he drank expired milk, which then ended up having a poop at halftime. And that
all I'm saying is, based on history,
I'm not going to do that. That's just me. And again, I understand what you're saying. That my thing, it's not the end all be all. That's just my thing. When it comes to a new team every year, kind of the same thing I feel with Notre Dame. Every time they come in, do they get mopped? Yes, they do. I understand that. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, you're not allowed in this year's playoffs. I'm going to hold you to a different standard this year because of what happened 2 years ago. That's just my thing. Now,
And I
again,
respect
I'm not
that.
saying Iowa's going to win. I'm not saying Iowa's going to win. I have Michigan winning. However, I'm just saying that this game is going to be close. It's going to be a good game. That's all I'm saying. Jay making it out here trying to seem like I think Iowa's going to end up running the table and winning. I'm not saying that, Jay.
No, I thought you were saying that Iowa would come out and beat Michigan. I'm like, man, I can't do that one.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the people. He said this sounds like Lamar at the Cleveland game last season. I'm just saying it's going to be a better game than what people anticipate it to be. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
definitely.
But I have
Their
them
defense
at 3
is second to none.
Right, with the loss that Bama is going to take against Georgia, which I believe, that's going to knock them out. I genuinely believe that. And I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. I would rather have Ohio State back in there than Alabama. If Alabama loses to Georgia, I'd rather have Ohio State. Now, I believe Oklahoma State is going to end up beating Baylor. So I genuinely have, at the end of the day, I have Oklahoma State sneaking in that 4th. But it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild because, like I said, outside of number 1, which is going to be Georgia, because I believe Georgia's going to win. I believe after that, I don't know. After that, I think it'll be crazy. But yeah, I'm low-key comfortable with what I got. I got Georgia at 1, Cincy at 2. I'll give Michigan at 3, and then I'll give Oklahoma State at 4. Because there's just no way if Alabama loses again, maybe it's just me, but I just don't see a world where Alabama loses and it's still in. Maybe it's just me, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
Last topic for the day before we wrap it up. Trey, let me start with you. The MLB lockout. At this point, it just doesn't even seem like they care. Let's just keep it a buck. Like the first day they open up negotiations, I'm like, oh, let's go. We might get somewhere. They get there. It was a 30-minute conversation, real life 30-minute conversation, and 15 minutes was spent them shaking hands and greeting each other and asking about the families. So in total, about 15 minutes of legitimate talk, and they were like, you know what? I want to go golfing. We're done for the day. That's straight up how day 1 went, right? So Trey, let me ask you something. How long do you anticipate? Because obviously we have time. The season just recently ended, so we have time. But how long do you think this will last?
I would like to believe that it's going to last at least right up until right now. Like, the urgency is there, but it's not really a problem. So I would think it's going to last at least up until right before the season gets ready to start, or with a good amount of time for the season to get ready to start. Because just as we spoke about before a couple of days ago, there's not supposed to be any contact with the players or the organizations. It's a lockout. Like, the doors chained. We're not rapping about anything like that. Like, this is a wrap until we can come until the Players Association and the owners can come to an agreement. So I would think that it's going to come right before then. There's no urgency. The owners are really trying to draw their the line in the sand and only want the players to cross over to them as opposed to them coming to the players, or there being any equal meeting in the median area. So I think it's going to go right before the season at minimum. And then after that, it's going to be a mad dash to try to savor or put together something that's going to be effective for to have an effective season.
So,
down there,
Jay. Oh, yeah. Someone asked if that's a 49ers beating this Gritty and Yuki. Gritty, and this dude is actually a Niners fan. But when it comes to sports, he's just very, mild until you piss him off with college talk. That's the only way we get some energy out of this, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, you missed it yesterday. Him and Bishop. Oh my goodness. I saw Trey and I was like, I'm scared. I was looking at him like the day. I don't know if anyone was here when LDZ was just snapping on someone.
He was talking because that Bishop be talking about them Sooners. That's why.
Yo, listen, bro. It's kind of funny because ever since Lincoln Riley left, there's just been this dark cloud over Bishop. It's been a dark cloud. So every time he's on the show, I desperately try to bring up Lincoln Riley. But Jay, Jay, and I'm talking about snapback. We got both got Jay McLovin. Jesus Christ, 2 J's is wild. Let me ask you something, because obviously we have guys like Carlos Correa, Chris Bryant, and we have a whole bunch of guys that are still out there, and they can't get a deal until this lockout is finished. What do you think that it's going to negatively impact the deal they get, or may they get even more than what Corey Seager, 10 years, 305? We're talking about, Baez, 5 years, 100 mil. You think that other guys can get more, or you just think them Wayne's going to shoot them in the foot later?
I don't know. It's hard to say, right? I mean, it depends on how firm these owners are about putting their lines in the sand. Because at the end of the day, man, people spend money. The Steinbrenners of the world, they spend money. Houston is not an organization typically that spends a lot of money. So he's definitely going to be a free agent. Where he goes, who knows? Detroit, they're talking about maybe possibly there, whatever. No. Do I think it's going to affect it? No. They're going to get their money. At the end of the day, they're going to get their money. And let me tell you something about this damn lockout, man. You people think that anybody who thinks that this is going to go into the season is full of shit.
No,
I agree. I'm gonna tell you why. This is money, man. Listen, $300 million ain't nothing to snap at. You think these owners can afford to pay these guys who already have their contracts their money, and they got a lockout because they ain't making no money? And plus, baseball is already kind of the backseat stepchild to the NFL and NBA. So they can't afford it.
No more.
They may not recover like they did back in 95, 90, whatever it was.
94.
Yeah, thank you. They may not recover. They barely recovered back then. And let's be honest, a large segment of the African American population doesn't tune into baseball. They barely even play the game of baseball. If you see an African American playing baseball nowadays, it's right there from Cuba, Venezuela, whatever. They're just trying to get out of poverty, and that's their way out. Look, if you want to encompass all of America, all of the ethnicities of America, you got to be on the field playing. You got to be putting people in the seats, and this lockout's not going to do that. They know that. They know that they may not recover back.
Yeah, and like you said, Jay, there's some people who genuinely believe that it'll last a while, and I laugh because I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot. Like, to sit here and pretend it'll go into the season, like, are you gonna sit here and tell me that the Yankees, who are still paying Giancarlo Stanton, you think they're gonna wait and be like, yeah, no, let's wait? Like, do you think? And on top of that, let's go to the most recent guys. You think the Rangers are gonna step around and wait when they just handed out 2 huge contracts? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it just doesn't make it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But Greg, let me ask you about day one of these conversations, which honestly had me hysterical. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Say it one more time. 30 minutes. That's how long this entire thing was. Are you surprised that it was that quick for the first meeting?
Yes. Only 30 minutes. That kind of shows that there's a very low sense of urgency in this. Like, to be talking about, we're here to try to, figure something out, and we're talking about, hey, how's the kids? How's the family? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, let's go do some golf now. And it's like, what? Like, that's not what we came here for. So I don't think the lockout will last into the season, but maybe till about January or February. But the thing with baseball, just like what Jay was talking about, a lot of the reason why some people, tune it out is because either the season is too long or the games are too slow. And when I ask people, well, why don't you watch baseball? Because I like watching baseball, but why don't you, watch it? Oh, it's too slow. It's either the games are too slow or the season is too long. I think what the MLB needs to do is shorten their regular season. Shorten their regular season. And if you want to shorten the game to 7 innings, it's okay. They're so stuck on this. Well, we got to have tradition and it has to go this way and that way. Sometimes you have to change with the times. It's not gonna mess up the history of baseball. Oh my gosh, it's only 7 innings. It messes up the tradition of baseball. No, sometimes you have to change with the times in order to get more people to watch the game. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. My thing is there's 162 games in a season, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. For me personally, I don't mind it because again, I like baseball. Like that's just my thing.
Yeah, I do too.
I will say this: when it comes to shortening the game, I always felt like they should do one or two things. If you want to keep 162, that's fine. 7 innings should be it. Or if you want to keep the 9 innings, cut the games back to between 80 and 100. That way, not only you still been able to get a good revenue and a good income, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of, you're doing something. Somebody here said baseball should have like 40 or 50 games. Coach, what do you think about this? Is it too little? Is it too much? How do you feel about 40 to 50 games for
40 and 50 games for baseball? That's too little. I mean, that's too little. At least about 100 games, at least about 120 games or something like that. I prefer that. But again, I'm a big baseball person. I love baseball. Second base and shortstop I played. Always loved the Houston Astros, born and raised down in Houston. So that's all I ever watched was Houston sports. That's all I ever watched was Houston sports and stuff like that. Texas, Longhorn. And I'll say again, if you're that good, I believe Carlos Correa them still going to get paid. I don't believe they're going to. The contract will be bigger than Corey Seager. I don't see a contract that's matching that. They're going to get their money. Now, regardless of what team he goes to, I don't know, but the Astros definitely going to lose him. And the Astros, mark my words, will still be good. Without Carlos Correa. They still will be fine. They just got too many prospects to not to be that good. And again, I just think I can see the lockout just going into January, like Trey said, not during the season. I can see it being during January. So I still think the guys out there are going to get paid their money once everything starts. I mean, you got guys like Chris Bryant, Carlos Correa. All of those guys are big-time names that can help your organization out and make your organization better. So they're still going to get paid their money, but I believe the lockout is going to maintain through January. I don't think it was going to go on start the season. I think it's going to be in January somewhere. I think the season starts in about March, somewhere in March or something like that, or February, something around that area. But again, the guys are going to get paid. Come on now. They're superstars in this league. They're going to get paid.
Yeah, they probably will. Damon says, how long is a college baseball season? I think it's like 50, 60 games, something like that. It's really not.
It's not baseball. College baseball is a lot shorter. A whole lot.
It's way shorter.
They got a lot of tournaments in college.
But again, that's why you see them get drafted. That's why they get drafted, and then what happens? They go right to the pipeline. There's not that many guys you see get drafted and then immediately get put in the rotation. Like, you know what I mean? But Mike, let me ask you. Hold on, Jay.
Real quick. Yeah. So Neil Olshey was just released as general manager of the Portland Trailblazers. They already named Joe Cronin as the interim for the rest of the season. So the rebuild to me it's definitely starting.
100%. For me, once you get, mind you, they were already, let's be honest, they were already on the verge of rebuilding. Everyone knew it. It's just them who refused to believe it. That's really all it really came down to. It's like everyone knew they were just gonna. Once you get rid of the GM, you already got a new coach. Get rid of the GM. At this point, if they continue, it's just sheer insanity. That's just me. If you continue now trying to act like, oh yeah, we're a legit team, now you're even more insane. Because coach, one of the big problems with coaches, they always go to war with the same weapons. They don't really They don't make those improvements that they need. At this point, with a new GM and coach, I'm gonna toss you. This is gonna be the last thing before we wrap it up, real quick, coach. Since that's their team, at this point, they gotta blow it up, right?
Hell yeah, you gotta blow it up. When they lost the Western Conference Finals, you should have blew it up back then. You should have done a combination of Damian Lillard and CJ wasn't gonna work. So hell yeah, they should have been blew it up. The moment they lost the Western Conference Finals, that's what I knew it wasn't gonna work out. You cannot have 2 point guards, especially small point guards, in your backcourt, guarding the best point guards, guarding the best shooting guards in the game. You don't have a perimeter defender out there. You don't have a lockdown defender. Robert Covington is some-timer. Yusuf Nurkic, he's good, but he's always hurt. You don't have any depth coming off the bench at all. Who you got? Anthony Simons coming off the bench. Again, it's just a complete mess in Portland. And I believe it's time to rebuild. I believe it's time to move on from Dame. And I think Dame should consider moving on from Portland. And once you move on from Dame, CJ should want to get the hell up out of that as well. Go full rebuild mode. And they should have been done that since the moment they lost the Western Conference Finals. They should have been rebuilt. They should have been made that breakup. At least one of them had to go at that time. And now if Dame is going to come out and say, hey, I want to be moved. If the GM decides to move him, then you'll see CJ probably move as well. But I think it's time for a blow up, which is I've been saying. This team, this organization is a flat out joke. They have not put nothing around these guys. These guys have always been good enough. They've been carrying a franchise by themselves, but you do not have any bench depth. You do not have help. And you had a great head coach in Terry Stotts. You just ain't put players around these guys to help these guys succeed. No defensive players, no perimeter defenders. You just woo these guys out. So now I think it's time for a move. I think a change has to be made, and it starts, with the new GM, and it starts blowing these guys up. It starts doing right by Dame and CJ.
I just want to say one thing, Coach. So you were not the only person looking for Rue. You got mad people in the chat.
I told him he should have kept his mouth closed. He should have kept his mouth closed. Don't open up your mouth, bro. Just kept your mouth closed.
Coach, you was not the only one looking for him. Jay, you did miss the lockout topic. Was there anything you wanted to brush on real quick about that?
Yeah, no. As far as baseball goes, Greg hit it very, very the nail on the head. Baseball needs to grow with the times. I think if you take a look in the early thousands, they did a lot coming back out of that lockout to expand overseas, to expand into the Dominican, to expand into Cuba, to expand into these places, which they did a fantastic job at. And it kind of, I think, is what kicked the NFL in the butt to get on expanding out to the European League and these type of things as well, seeing the product that baseball was able to put in place. And a la the NBA, the G League, taking a page out of the farm league of Major League Baseball. So Major League Baseball has done a lot for the road, so to speak, of the way that sports handle their each individual organizations. So baseball has done a lot for sports in general. The one thing that I think that baseball is really missing right now, and I think Jay touched on it a little bit, is involving the masses of the different nationalities and backgrounds that we have right here in America. So we're going out to Brazil, we're going out to Cuba, we're going out to all these other places and doing this, but we're missing the biggest boat. And that's right here. That's right here in America. When we start seeing more different faces, American faces, that's when you'll see the youth in America grow within the sport. Right now, it's not there. You talk to kids, if we rewind back into the early thousands in the 90s, you talk to kids, they have a baseball in their hand with a baseball glove, and they're out there playing catch. You go outside right now, you see kids, they got soccer balls replacing baseballs. They got volleyballs replacing baseballs. They're holding hockey sticks. They're doing other things. So baseball is losing a grip on America. They've done a fantastic job with growing other places, but they're losing a grip on America. And remember, baseball was America's game from the beginning. So if them taking that direction and changing the path of it is fucking them in the long run. And they did a great job for those first 10 years of expanding, but now get back to it. Get back to where it's at. Get back to home. Get back to where the money's coming, and you guys will grow. And to Greg and everyone's point about the game, I wouldn't necessarily shorten it to a hard 7. What I would do is at 7, if you got a 5-point lead, game over. Game's over.
Okay, so you would
don't need to go
like
any
a mercy rule.
Yes, because baseball's issue is like I think Damian noted, you can have a game that goes 3.5, 4 hours, 5 hours. You know what I mean? And I understand there's been a few times where people have come back in the 7th and 8th and 9th innings. But honestly, man, to speed this game up, if you haven't got it in 7 innings, you ain't gonna get it in 5. The chances are very low. If we get to the 7th inning stretch and you're the first one up to bat, cool. If you're the 7th inning stretch and you're the last one up to bat, I'm sorry, you're down by 5, game is over. So that's the way I would play it. I wouldn't necessarily put it at a hard stop at 7, but I would definitely put in a clause to end games early that are not competitive.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that's actually really not a bad idea, because there are some games where, you know, it's really over by the 7th inning, and unless you show some sort of will to come back, like if a pitcher's doing a no-hitter, I think you should end it at 7, because, you know, he's on fire. It is what it is. But yeah, again, there are changes that MLB does have to do. Yeah, there are some changes that MLB has to do. Hopefully they can do it, because again, look, I love baseball. I really do. I do go out of my way to watch it. But again, you did make a good point, Jay. They're losing their grip on reality. Where
America,
said
man,
we basically wanted like Little League, well, to an extent. And
not like the Little League, but
no, can you tell me Little League?
Not like the Little League necessarily. Yes, I understand the Mercy Rubin in reference into the Little League, but America is not what it used to be. Okay, as a kid, I walked outside and played, and every once in a while I have an Xbox or a PlayStation, or we used to carry our Game Boys around. But the whole point is we were outside as kids. We enjoyed what nature provided us. If you went out and you had a piece of dirt in front of you, how are we going to utilize this dirt to play? We bring our bike, we might build those type of things. Outside of that, we're playing baseball, we're playing football. You got to have a rim and some concrete to play basketball. So, you know what I mean? Like the things were different. And I think nowadays with these Roblox and everything so internet orientated, and kids have so many different variations of ways to play and get their hands on video games and stay in front of a computer screen for so long at a time, that baseball has to understand our attention span is this big nowadays. So when you're going and you do get these games where a defensive game in football, people turn it off nowadays. They can't stand a defensive grudge match in football, guys. So how are we going to get to a situation where in baseball we got 5 innings, it's 0-0. They've had one, double that knocked in a guy off of first. That's not very exciting for these kids. So we have to figure out a way to keep that where people aren't sleeping by 7th inning.
Yeah, and you do bring up a good point in terms of defense, because the Patriots Super Bowl against the Rams, the last one, I mean, it was a defensive showcase, and I enjoyed it from the defensive end because defensively it was a great game, but because it was an offense, people got mad, people got upset, and they try to say it was the worst Super Bowl they have ever seen. So, yeah, I do get your point. I do think they should do it and have a pitch clock. I'll be honest with you, because I feel like that would help some. Because I do know a lot of pitchers, they'll go and stop and then take 45 years to just throw the ball and play with it. And it's like, bro, you want to play with yourself? Go home. Like, go home. We're not here to watch that. We're here to see games. But that's enough for us. It has been ASAP in the morning. Definitely, as always, fun. On behalf of Jay McLovin, Greg, Coach Dante, Michael, Jay Ness, and Trey, who just dipped on us because we apparently talk too much. One more time.
Hey, and before we leave, all you ASAP family out there, remember, guys, this week we did take a big step. We are now 24 hours, 7 days a week on Roku. Watch our live shows on Roku. If you want to sit it up in the living room and you're kicking your feet up, you know, in your daddy robe or something, go ahead and watch us on there. Roku. We will be on Amazon by the end of the month as well. You know, we appreciate you guys following us and sticking with us through this.
And
hey, and I got one more thing to say, Pride. I got one more thing to say.
Real quick,
hey,
it's 24/7, so there will be replay. So let's say you missed the show, you can still catch the replay on Roku. So if you guys are, you know, let's say y'all work third shift and y'all barely get out by the time we do it, it's all good. Let's say you live in a different time zone. Roku, it's all replayable, so you'll definitely be able to catch us. Go ahead, Coach.
And on demand.
Yes, sir.
Hey, now, Pride, don't you know? You remember earlier in the show, y'all said Koo should give me an apology for what happened, right? And it's in the chat. He apologized to me in the chat. Yep, I see it right here. I got the comment pulled up. Hey, comma comes. Hey, comma came. It's comma came. He said the Rockets. I will always remember what you said. The Rockets are a disaster. You beat you 2 times in 2 days. 2 times in 2 days. Plus you lost by 73. That's the icing on the cake. So you'll know to keep your mouth closed next time. You'll know to do that next time. That's karma right there.
And you know what? We appreciate you apologizing, because we're gonna be honest, a lot of people just would have left. They would have left. They would have stopped commenting. They would have
not showed up.
Do 0 Dark 30. But the fact that you was able to apologize, shout out to you. Last comment of the day. Rockets still ain't shit. Damian, you and I usually disagree, but you want it right here. I agree with you on that.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right, Damian. That's why the White Sox will never be shit either. That's why they always be. And the Astros will always be better. The Astros will be better than the White Sox, even without Paul. They'll be better than y'all.
That's true now.
That's gonna be a fun conversation to have. But that's enough for us. It is your boy Pride. We'll be back here. Not tomorrow because it's Saturday. It's the weekend, baby. We will be here Monday.
God, it's Friday.
Monday morning, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. We will be here. We'll see you guys next time. Be safe.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.